Man, there were some exciting finishes to those games, but I can't help but feel bad for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Screw that, dude. Everyone made fun of the Leafs when they did it. Hey, 3-goal leads aren't that easy to defend, are they? Woo! Are you just gonna get hammered? Get me a toaster. Magic Angel Robot from Winnipeg. What the hell are you talking about? This team is ruining my life. We're talking Stars, Ducks, Hawks, Blues, and we start with the Penguins and Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets win 4-3 in overtime over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they tie the series up at 2. I don't know where to find this stat. I don't know how long it would take to look up, but has this ever happened before? Someone tweeted this at me last night, and I didn't believe it. That was game 4 of this series, and in every game of the series so far, a team has jumped out to a 3-1 lead and then gone on to lose the game. That's legitimately difficult to do. How do you do that? The Penguins were looking good. They were doing all the things I've been talking about. Getting in the blue paint, tipping them by Bobrovsky. And this might be why you don't switch goalies in the first period of a playoff game. The Penguins start getting into penalty trouble, the Blue Jackets start storming back, and everything comes tumbling down. Perhaps coming to a crescendo with the Brandon Dubinsky game-tying goal. Wow. It's funny, Dubinsky has been playing a great series so far, and that's the goal he scores. Maybe it's about time he got one gift wrap. Marc-Andre Fleury goes behind the net to play the puck, way too casual, coughs it up, Dubinsky scores. Goes to overtime, just after a flurry of Pittsburgh activity in the Columbus zone. Nick Foligno breaks out, shoots just beyond the blue line. That's it. And in the blink of an eye, we're going back to Pittsburgh with a tied series. Now, I was gonna just rant on Marc-Andre Fleury in this one, but it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you need a little time. First of all, Fleury was the only reason the Penguins were in this game, because they got the 3-0 lead and decided, nah. Columbus actually outshot Pittsburgh 14-11 in the first period, and overall in the game, 46-25. Meaning, in that game where Marc-Andre Fleury is wearing the goat horns, he made 42 saves. And it's the next morning, I'm watching the TSN panel discuss those goals, and they made some good points. The Foligno goal was like a knuckleball changing direction. And while I still think Fleury was nuts to even try to come out of his net, look at how much time is left. Just stay in your net. All 5 Penguins on the ice were just puck watching. So what the hell is going on in this series? Why can't the Penguins or the Blue Jackets hold on to a lead? Justin Bourne from The Score, former professional hockey player, he wrote a piece on score effects a little while back. I'll put it in the description. You need to read it. It basically explains why teams do this. And I've chirped on Cherry for this before because he goes, oh, the 2-goal lead is the hardest lead to defend in hockey. And I'm like, well, mathematically, that doesn't make sense, Don. This sheds a little light on that. Essentially, when you get a 2-goal lead, a 3-goal lead, sometimes a 4-goal lead, you forget who you are. Or at very least, you stop playing like who you are. Who you are is a player, a team that's better than the team you're playing, or at least for that night. And once you get the lead, you stop playing that way. Not as in you stop trying, but you stop owning the puck. Rather than carry the puck up ice like you usually would, you start chipping it out and giving up possession to the other team. We often talk, oh yeah, just chip it out, yeah, it's a good thing, and it is in some cases, but really what it is, you're giving the other team the puck. I think it's good when you use it when appropriate, but a lot of teams just default to it. You can't crawl into a turtle shell in this league anymore. The rules don't allow for it, and the forwards are too good. So you get up 3-0, great, keep going. So question of the night for this game, do you hang this game on Marc-Andre Fleury, or do you look at the Penguins and go, guys, you're in trouble? Next, let's go with the Dallas Stars. Win 4-2 over the Anaheim Ducks. They tie their series up at 2 as well. Hey, look at that. Another game where multi-goal lead and goodbye. Ducks without Ryan Getzlaf and Teemu Selanne, but they're still doing what makes them good. Overwhelming their opponent, crushing the front of the net, and the puck goes off your back and you get credited with a goal. Whatever, it's a goal. And sometimes all you need is that little spark. Stars, sparkle, you get it, okay. That spark has a name and its name is Jamie Benn. Just plowing forward off the face-off, which no one does anymore, and sniping on his own. Just a giver goal. Then Vernon Fiddler with a roof job. Cody Eakin just with a nice shot. Alex Goligoski scores, and that's it. Ducks lose. Now, just watching the game and then seeing the post-game, they're talking about, oh, Frederick Anderson and Bruce Boudreau has to do something about... And I'm like... He's been fine up until this point. What are you talking about? And then I watched all 4 goals again, and good shots by the Stars, but they were just shots. A few of them weren't even screened. Pretty sure none of them were tipped. Can't be letting in 4 of those a night. And for the second straight game in this series, Kari Lehtinen was the better goalie. And for the second straight game in the series, maybe the 3rd or 4th, got kind of nasty. Roussel and Perry going at it. Nice little tilly. And then, who was it? The Ducks fought the Stars. Like, really, does it matter who got kicked out of the game? Does it matter? But the Ducks, who for a while looked like they were just gonna run the Stars, all of a sudden, hashtag pesky stars. Question of the game for this one, do you go with Jonas Hiller next game if you're the Ducks? And on the stars side, I think it's obvious that there's some Eastern bias out there, but are Antoine Roussel and guys like Ryan Garbutt some of the most underrated pests in the whole league? Because these guys are driving a pretty damn good team nuts. And this isn't the first time I've seen them do it either. We end with the Stanley Cup Finals, sort of. The Chicago Blackhawks win 4-3 in overtime over the St. Louis Blues. That series is tied up at 2 as well. And in one night, boom, 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 there's 3 series tied up at 2. The playoffs. So Vladimir Tarasenko's a player, eh? And while maybe you don't expect him to get 4 goals in 4 playoff games, he's expected to perform. But the Blues are a team that is expected to score more by committee. With the Blackhawks, obviously you think of their stars. Jonathan Toews is very easy. Patrick Sharp is very easy. And of course, Patrick Kane, 3 points, including the OT winner. Beautiful goal. But you know, I was thinking about something. You look at any of the cup winners in the last ever. Their stars score. And if they don't score a lot, they're setting their teammates up. They're doing all sorts of things offensively. So obviously that doesn't change for the Blackhawks. Sharp, Toews, Kane, those guys have to score. But what often pushes those Stanley Cup winning teams over the top is who else scores. Andrew Shaw was a guy who was very important for the Blackhawks, and he finally gets one in this one. How the hell did he hit that, by the way? But a guy I want to talk about a bit, Brian Bickle, scored the game-tying goal in this one, and if the Hawks can get more out of him, they could win another cup. And I know, it sounds stupid to look at a team as stacked as the Blackhawks and go, really? Really, Brian Bickle? The reason why that is you look at the Blackhawks and how stacked they are, and anything from a guy like Bickle or Shaw is a bonus. Yeah, but their stars are supposed to carry the load. Yes, that's true, but if the stars are scoring and the other guys are scoring, that's a lot of scoring then, isn't it? And Bickle, obviously with a nice fat contract after a huge playoffs last spring, in 23 games, 9 goals, 8 assists, for 17 points. But realistically, this isn't a guy who puts up a lot of points. He has one 17-goal season under his belt 4 years ago, and since then, 9, 9, and this year 11. He missed some games, sure, but okay, let's bump him up to 13 or 14 goals then. Here are his comparables this year. David Legwan, Nino Niederreiter, Dustin Penner, Valerie Nichushkin, Matt Stajan, P.A. Parento, Patrick Berglund, Kyle Palmieri, Antoine Roussel, Zach Cassian, Brock Nelson, Ben Smith, Alex Hemsky, Sean Couturier, Alex Jason, Mikhail Grabowski, Mark Scheifele, Nick Spaulding, Eric Ferrer, Alex Galchenyuk. Now go through all the names I just said. Not a lot of game breakers in there, are there? Oh, they're fine players. They're fine. But they're not Patrick Kane. And a few of those guys on that list that are considered better are having off years. Galchenyuk is a guy who comes to mind. And almost every single player on that list also missed time due to injury, just like Bickle. And Bickle has way fewer points than any of those guys because he only has 4 assists. And I'm not saying all this to scold Bickle. What I'm actually saying is that if he gets hot like he did in last year's playoffs, these Hawks are almost unstoppable. And I still consider the Blues one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. I still consider them a potential cup favorite, but you let the Hawks get a little bit of momentum and look the hell out. Question of the game for this one and for the other series that I talked about in this video. All the series are tied at 2-2. Where does your gut tell you these series will end? So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends about my videos. Share on Twitter, Facebook, and all that loveliness and links and yeah. And I will see you next time. Hold on to your leads, kids.